All right, so how's everybody's high fives going? I know Cindy's got hers going, and
Mm-hmm.
great job. I've been communicating in your high five. Very good.
Awesome.
Anthony, I've got your script, hon. I will review it this morning and get back to you. So I know Anthony, you have a list of your people that you want to add to your high five?
Now that's something I was confused about. What's the difference between my list of 100 people and my high five? Or are they one and the same?
They're kind of one and the same, but great question. So what you want to do, there's someone I need to mute, just so we get some background. If you can mute yourself, if someone who's reverberating, just unmute when you want to talk. So you're out of your list of 200, right? What you want to do, your high five are people more than likely that you're not going to call for business, but you think they're interested in the product, and they can be one and the same. So we want you to reach out to about 5 to 10 people and say, hey, this is Anthony. I am about to start a program. You're going after your last 30 pounds. You give them your script and you choose people who are going to hold you accountable. Now, I recommended that you choose your golfing buddies, your fire buddies, all these people, the people you haven't been talking to, but people who are like you and probably have some of the similar challenges to you, people who you've been concerned about but haven't spoken to. Cool?
That's way cool. Okay, did you just say 20 people?
Well, you can do 20. I said 5 to 10, but you can go
5 to 10. Okay, I got confused at that 200, 5 to 10 to 200. Yeah, because my assignment was to make a list of 100 people, which I completed yesterday, which was really a win for me because I didn't wait around till the last minute, and I got it done earlier in the day, and my script was written and submitted to you. And yeah, so it was like way cool, and I just simplified the process because I had gotten in my own way, and I was trying to come up with some system where I recorded the name, the phone number, the email. I had it on some kind of Excel form, and it looked beautiful. And then I realized I took out my book, wrote down 100 names, and I'll catch up the rest of that stuff later instead of getting in my own way with just inertia. I'll use inertia instead of some S word, and just got 100 names written down. So I didn't segregate them between who do I think want to do business. I just started with my A's, came through, looked for the ones where I had name, face recognition, and wrote down my first 100, got halfway through my B's. And so I'm like, well, hell, it's time for me to make this do what it do.
There you go. See, and you're only at B's, and people are like, how do I make a list of 200 people? He's at B's and he's at 100. Do you guys get this? All right. So I know. So Cindy's got her high five. I know Tria, you got your high five. I'm in the middle of completing mine. I'm gonna get mine done, but I'm busy helping you guys get yours done. And I've done like how many high fives have I probably done? I can't even remember. So, Colette, you got yours, hon?
I have my high five and I have my script and I will send that to you.
Awesome. Oh, good. You can send yours to Tria because I'm going to coach Tria to coach you because I'm creating duplication. Yeah, I mean, you can send it to me if you want, but you got to send it to Tria. Susie Q, high five going?
I have my list going. I've contacted one who said no.
She didn't want to just support you and hold you accountable?
No, she says, I'm never on Messenger. I wouldn't be a very good accountability coach. I said, okay.
She'd be gone on the red list. I'd be like, what?
I know. So I have my list. I have a list of 10. I just have to call them today.
All right. Foz, how you doing?
I'm working on the list. I don't have it completed yet, and I haven't had any conversations yet, just because my program is tweaked right now because
yeah, I got you. Are you gonna start now, or are you gonna wait till the end of Ramadan?
I was gonna wait, but okay. I'm putting my list together anyways.
Totally got it. Awesome. Mr. Morrison.
Here, have my story, but not my list, and still working at the high five.
Okay, awesome. Hi, Mark. Good morning. How are you? You're muted, hon.
Yes, I was. Good morning. How are you?
I'm so excited to see you. It's been way too long.
I know it has. It's good to see you.
So you probably don't know what the high five is because you're just here. So hey, hello, good morning, Julie. Look at you looking so fabulous. That's just wrong. But anyway. Okay, so the high five is choosing friends, and this is really a great way to get people to consultant with them not feeling like they're doing business, but really giving them the wow, the aha that this actually works. So think of people in your life who you would like to, who are supportive, who are probably like you, may have the same goals, and you're going to reach out to them and say, would you hold me accountable as I go on the next phase of my journey? So Julie's on the next phase of her journey. She's got a bit more to go in terms of her goals. You are just killing it with your journey and got a little, might have a little bit to go. But what's going to happen is you're going to list about 5 to 10 people. You're going to add them to a group on Messenger, right? And you are going to go on the journey and share with them what's going on. You can share pictures, post, all that, share your befores, right? And all that sort of stuff. And that way people go on the journey with you and their sole goal is to cheer you on and hold you accountable. But we all know what happens when people cheer you on and hold you accountable. If they want the same thing you want, or they've been struggling with the same thing you've been struggling with, they're going to go, wait a minute, why didn't he call me to do this? Why is he doing it without me? I want to do this. He's starting to look good. It's working. You're gonna create evidence right before their eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
So Suzanne, so you're not asking them to join you from the standpoint of doing the same thing you're doing. You're just asking them to track you in what you're doing, that you're just reporting to them what you're doing and letting them decide if they want to do it too.
Right. So by the end, you'll have enough evidence that at the end, the last post that we wrote is that you'll be like, hey, why don't you, I mean, people, you seem interested. I'd love for you to do the next round with me. And now they've had evidence. They've seen you go through the process. You'll know who's interested. And you're like, hey, do the next round with me. And it's just a really neat process. Now, think about this. If you have a journey and you have like a ways to go, you could repeat this and repeat it and repeat it until you get where you're going. And that could become your recruiting tool for your customers. Does that make sense?
Yep. Makes sense.
So could this be a financial and also a physical journey, or what?
I think this one is more the more health related part of it. Now what will happen is that this is the beautiful thing about it. And you know, one of my mentors, Matt Rockwell, says that the goal is to create 3 wows, right? So the first one is, wow, the program actually works, right? Wow, I'm getting results. Colette had that wow. A bunch of you have had that wow, like, wow, it works, right? The second thing is, wow, my friends are interested. The third one is, wow, some of my friends actually ordered products and I got paid. Those are the 3 wows. Once someone has those 3 wows, you've created evidence that this works. For someone who might be thinking of business, they now have their 3 wows. Now you're in a position to say, hey, you know what? There's a way to make money attached to this. Would you like me to show you how? Because now they have confidence that it works. Now you can go and say, you know, you just made money. They're going to come back to you and go, what happened? Right? Like I've had people so my chiropractor, we used to put people on him continuously. And then one day he got a check for $250. And he didn't know what happened. He didn't know why he got it. He was like, what on earth just happened? Why is Isaac sending me $250? So I had to sit him down and I had to walk him through everything. I had to walk him through what was going on. And we had his attention. Do you get what I'm saying? Wow, wow, wow. And meanwhile, his clients in his office were getting amazing results. So he had the wow that he got his results. 2, he had the wow that other people were getting results. And 3, he had the wow that, oh, I'm actually making money and I don't even know how. So now he was very open. So that's the other way of doing this. Now, this is a slower way. I like to use both. I like to use the direct approach around business. For those people I'm really interested in locking arms with, I like to use the direct approach around customers. And then there's those people who I know are probably going to need evidence. So let's give them the evidence. And for some of you who are not yet comfortable reaching out to people, this is a perfect way to do so. Make sense? Does that answer? Does that explain clearly?
Yes.
Okay. Anila, did you get your products yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so today we are going on a search and rescue mission because you
Okay.
a long time ago.
Sounds good.
Okay, awesome. We're going to get that done today. All right. Any questions? Okay, so the first challenge you guys have is high 5 groups done, complete, and rocking by the end of the week. Cool? Anybody can't do that? Put your hand up if you can't. Okay, good. I got agreement.
I have a question, Suzanne.
Mm-hmm.
For our high 5 group, do we give them a time that we're going to do this accountability challenge with them? Do we say 30 days or do we just say, or we don't say anything as far as time frame goes that they want to do our accountability?
I would start with 30 days.
Okay.
Right, your first in the next 30 days, I'm going to be doing this. Some of you might want to do 60, but I would start with 30 days and repeat.
Okay.
And Suzanne, the script is the script that I'm coming in late in the game. So the script that to be done, that's the script you're using to talk to your high 5 people?
Yeah, so we have a sample of a script, and I'll take you onto Trello board later on today, you and Mark. And so we have a sample of stuff to say, because thank you, Turia. Turia and I were working. Turia's been building out our Trello board for social media and scripts. So we have one in there. And so we give you a sample and you take it and you adjust it based on what you want to say. And then we have sample posts of what you can say that's going on during your program. And then we have a last post.
Okay. And I just have to say, Turia, you are just like rocking it this morning. And I just want you to know the hater rate is at a really high level because your level of cuteness this early in the morning is just disrespectful. I'm psyched.
Thank you, Julie. But that's part of the challenge, right? Part of the challenge is to get up and get dressed every day.
You have met the challenge, my dear. I am inspired. I just want to say.
Thank you. Thank
it's
you.
all over the place.
All right. So what I want to do right now is I was thinking, what did I want to give you guys next? And I want to talk about leadership for a moment because this game is all built in. There's 3 parts to network marketing. There's a few, but one is you got to have an amazing product and you got to be attached to a great company. Check, right? Second one is you've got an amazing product, which includes the compensation. The next thing is you have to have a great system, right? Because a system is what duplicates. And duplication is the key to leverage and the key to network marketing. So when you think of any franchise we go into, McDonald's, Burger King, Chapters, do you notice they all look the same? Notice no matter where you go, the burger looks and tastes the same. When you go to Chapters, the books are almost in the same place. They have the same categories. It's identical, right? That's a franchise model. We are in a franchise model. So the system is what keeps us duplicatable. Isagenix gives us all the same website. You notice that. We all have our link. Although we're shopping at their main store, we all have our own personalized website. They're identical, right? Everybody has the exact same back office. They're identical. Everybody has access to the same training tools, movies, videos. They're identical. And everybody follows a system. Each team has a little bit of a different system, but the system is pretty well the same across Isagenix, right? So the second thing you want to know is, okay, products, great, compensation, great, company, great, check, check, check. Do they have a system for me to follow? Check. But the third thing that no one talks about that makes this game happen is leadership. If you don't have leadership other than yourself, you still have a job, right? So what drives duplication are leaders who are going to act independent of you. So my responsibility is to do this thing I call cause leadership. My job is to cause leaders. I am not to be the leader and have a bunch of followers. I am going to lock arms with a bunch of other leaders. So if you say to me, you want to do this business, you want to create this financial opportunity, I am going to instantly treat you like a leader, whether you want me to or not. Because my responsibility to you is to make you independent of me as quickly as possible. It's my responsibility to me because I like time freedom, but it's my responsibility to you so you can go and duplicate independence because you don't want people depending on you. That is not this system. Cool? Now, for a lot of people that come from corporate, for a lot of people that come from management, this is a little different because in management, people like to lead and have people follow. This is not this game. This is about leading and creating leaders. Do you guys hear the difference? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few minutes and I'm going to walk you through a quick training so you guys really get this. And then we're going to open up and I'll give you an opportunity to ask questions. Because this in my world is key. It is the secret sauce. It is almost everything. So there, we're going to do that. We're going to do this. We're going to do. All right. So what we're going to talk about today is leading by example and sharing a vision and that can ignite a movement that allows you to create the health, wealth, and freedom you desire. So it's not about you lifting, it's about we lifting. It's not about you getting to where we want, it's about all of us getting to where we want. It's about locking arms. But the one thing I love about this is I know that if I get what I want, the only way I can do that is if Taria gets what she wants. If Susie Q gets what she wants, if Julie gets what she wants, if Mark gets what he wants. That's the way it works. So my job is to pour into other people, create leadership and set them up and support them in getting what they want. If I do that, I'm done. And that's what I love about this. It's not about me, it's about what I can do for you. So it makes it very simple, but we got to understand how the game works. So the first thing I want to ask you guys is, what is leadership? Now, most people think that leadership is your ability to tell people what to do and get them to do what you say, right? That's how most people consciously or unconsciously think of leadership. But leadership is your ability to influence others. I want you guys to really get this. It's your ability to influence others. It's when people act because they choose to rather than because they have to. It is your ability to be inspiration and to create influence. Now, why this is so key is I want you guys to get this. How many of you have a title in Isagenix? Not really.
I do.
No, we don't. We have a rank, right? But we don't really have a title. How many of you have a job description? When you came in, did someone dub you Grand Poobah leader of people? Right? So why this is so key is that there is no giving of power through position and title in Isagenix. You have to create that. So when you come in Isagenix, you're the same as every other customer. Isagenix doesn't say, we hired Suzanne and she is to oversee this group of people, and this group of people are supposed to listen to her and follow her. That's not done. So we all come in as customers. And from that place, you are required to create influence. I want you guys to get this. From this place, you guys are required to inspire people to follow you. From this place, you are required to say, hey, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm up to. And will you walk with me? I don't have a paycheck guarantee for you. I have the idea that we can make money. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you guys get this? It is very different. So when most people come into network marketing, they coming from a manager's position. And what I mean by a manager's position is most of us, if we've had a leadership role in a company, someone has hired you, dubbed you manager, gave you a job description, introduced you to a group of people and said, this is your new leader. This is your new manager, right? The power that you're given is external. You haven't earned it. You got it because you sat for a position. And the problem with management is people don't actually believe you. Because in their eyes, you haven't earned it. Do you guys get this? And the problem with management is people will only follow you as long as you have that title. You take that title away and then you will find out your leadership capacity. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So leadership is about your ability to inspire people by who you're being to follow you, not because of anything other than how you show up and the vision you have for your life and theirs. Now, for any entrepreneur that has a business, so Taria, Colette, Julie, this is so key, because when you start a business, all you have is a lofty idea and a desire to bring it into the marketplace. Why people will buy from you and follow you has less to do with your product and everything to do with who you are and how you show up and whether you can enroll them in a vision and a possibility and whether or not they can see themselves in that. Do you guys get this? This is why building your story and walking the talk and doing the high five and all the different things we're going to ask you is what we're doing is we're building your leadership capacity, because you cannot lead anybody anywhere you haven't been truly. Because that's management. As soon as you tell people to do something, you're in management mode. As soon as you go first and you say, watch this bright light, and they go, ooh, and they follow you, that is leadership. And if you do it often enough and consistent enough, you will not even have to do, people will follow you because they will believe what comes out of your mouth, because they will say, she will not ask me to do anything she has not done herself. He will not ask me to do anything that he has not done. She continues and he continues to lead by example. This is the fundamental difference. Leaders inspire, managers tell and sell. Leaders are examples. Managers use their external power called title and position. Managers use the threat of you will not have a paycheck if this doesn't get done, verbally or non-verbally. That's what's the power there. Leadership is about we are in this together and I'm going to be the example so you can trust me. So we're talking about positional leadership versus transformational leadership. Network marketing is all about transformational leadership, okay? We aren't given positions or titles, so we don't have positional leadership, even if we're really good. So when I managed teams, because I took on leadership, I was a manager, but I had positional leadership. I got a title, so on. But even when the title was taken from me, people still followed me. Does that make sense? That's when you know you're in leadership. But I've always done transformational leadership. So transformational leadership is the ability, is that you're continuously evolving, and you're evolving the people that are working with you. Now, why is this key in Isagenix? Why is this key in network marketing? Well, the person who said yes to Isagenix when they started will not be the same person who says yes to being an associate. The person who goes from associate to consultant is not going to be the person that started as associate. The person who gets to manager or director will not be the same person that started as associate. Every rank that you are going to be required to reach, the higher you go, the more you must grow. The leader always shows up before the success if you want to maintain it. The leader always shows up before the money if you want to maintain it, right? That is why people who buy lotto tickets and win are bankrupt within the next year, because they didn't grow into it. They didn't earn it. They didn't become the person who could hold that responsibility. We are all required to transform and lead by example. And this is the beautiful thing. You can't lead anybody or show them how to get somewhere you've not been. Not in the way that it needs to happen, because you don't have a story, you don't have a journey, you can't answer the questions. But once you've been it and you've fought through it and you've earned it, you can now go back and tell the story. Do you guys get it? So, and you know, people often ask me, Suzanne, why do you understand leadership so well? Is I've gone through the phases. I can go back and tell you the story. I can tell you all the struggles. I can tell you the fails, the rise, the ups, the downs. I understand it because I've lived it. So in my world, and this is the world according to Suzanne, so don't go looking for this anywhere, because as I went through my network marketing journey, I needed to figure out how to explain it. So there's 5 phases of leadership, okay? And I've taken this from my research, I've taken this from my own experience, but there's 5 phases of leadership, right? And we're gonna walk through them, but what I want you to understand is you can't skip a phase. You can't skip a phase. And people try to go from, I decided I'm gonna lead, and I'm gonna develop leaders. That's where they try to go. That's usually the thing, or I'm gonna lead others. And what they miss is you can't lead someone until you lead yourself. That is the key thing. So in order to go through all 5 phases, you have to have the capacity to have stepped into each phase. But the other really crazy thing is all the phases coexist at the same time. I can't develop a leader without leading myself. I have to qualify myself to lead every day. I have to lead myself every day, because I can't lead others if I'm not leading myself. So there are phases of development, but you can't skip a phase or forget one or think now I'm in developing leaders, I no longer have to do the leader of self thing. It doesn't work that way. They're interdependent, but they happen in a sequence. Making sense so far? Any questions? All right. So the first phase of leadership that we're going to talk about is to qualify yourself. To qualify is just to make a decision. Now, it may sound really simple, but the minute you qualify yourself, I will tell you what's going to happen. You're going to get scared. Because now you got to do stuff. You got to act as if. You're going to meet your ego, who likes to look good and be right. You're going to meet yourself that wants to do it your way. You're going to meet every fear, every anxiety, everything. That is the leap of faith. You're going to leap and realize you're by yourself. And yes, you're part of a team, but in your own microcosm of your world, you will realize, why did no one else leap with me? I am by myself, right? The thing about qualify is you've got to commit. You've got to be committed and you've got to be persistent. Your qualification cannot be based on who comes with you. It cannot be based on everybody saying, woo, you did good, we believe in you. It cannot be based. I want you to think of the Wright brothers when they decided they were going to fly. And their community and the world looked at them like, what is wrong with these two guys? Men don't fly. They weren't cheered on. They weren't like, go. They weren't. I want you to think of, oh, I'm thinking of her name. Movie just came out, or it's been out a little while. Underground Railroad, what's her name? Why can't I think of it? Harriet Tubman. Think of Harriet Tubman. When Harriet Tubman decided she was going to run and she was going to be a free slave. Do you remember? How many people ran with her? Nobody. She had to go run, get free, then come back. What kind of nonsense is that? But that's how it works, right? Because because I made a decision does not mean people follow me. And so she had to make the decision. And even when she wanted to go back, no one followed her then. They told her it was impossible, but she had made a decision in the face of adversity, in the face of no one else coming. That's what it means to qualify yourself. It's not popular. And you can't wait for permission to lead. This is if I can tell you anything. Some of you are going to say, well, when I get to this rank, I'm going to lead. When I get better than this, I'm going to lead. When I make some money, I'm going to take on leadership. When I, that's not how it works. The minute you said, I want to do this and I want to step into the financial opportunity, I hope you've decided to lead, because that is the only way people are going to follow you. People don't follow people who don't know where they're going. People don't follow people who have not made a decision. People don't follow people who are wishy-washy. They follow people who are clear, even if you don't know how to get where you're going, as long as you know where you're going. Do you guys get that? Okay, all they require is that you're 1 step, 2 steps ahead of them, and that you go first. That is usually the qualification. So do not wait to get to a rank in order to lead. Do not wait to get comfortable in order to lead. And last thing I'll say to you, leadership is messy. You're gonna fail often. You're gonna look bad. It's not gonna feel good. It's not pretty. But it's probably one of the best things you'll ever do for yourself. You will grow beyond your wildest dreams. And the first person you must lead is yourself. I believe the only person you ever lead is yourself, because that's the only person you can control. But in leading yourself brilliantly, you create this thing called inspiration, which causes influence. You become the inspiring light. And that is how we influence people. So the first person and the only person that you lead is you. Now, some people will disagree with that. I'll put my stake in the ground and say that's how it works. What motivates someone to make a decision to lead is a vision worthy of your life. Now, visions can be born of pain, or visions can be born of inspiration, right? Right now, there are people taking leaps of faith out of pure pain and overwhelm because of what's going on in the world. But what it is you've got to have a why, a reason, a purpose worthy of your life. And the why cannot be money, I'll tell you that much right now. It cannot be a stack of green paper. It's usually not the car. It is something bigger than you that you want to impact. For many people, it's the impact of wanting to change the legacy for their family. It's wanting to do something different for their children. It is wanting to create financial security and a financial example for the next generation. It is usually bigger than you, right? You've got to have a reason, because that reason needs to propel you, and that reason needs to be big enough that it'll hold you when you're uncomfortable. It'll hold you when you fail. When people remind you of it, you'll be like, okay. So I know Tria and I, we are very similar in that we have this desire to live in 2 places, half of the year in one country, half of the year in the other, and it drives us. And we talk about it constantly, and we celebrate it every time we get closer to it. So when I bought my place in Costa Rica, I was like, woo, I'm partly there, right? So we talk about these things, but we have a why, and it drives what we do. It drives our willingness to take risk and be uncomfortable. You've got to have something that is that important to you. Okay. So here are some qualities of leader of self, and I will screenshot these ones and make them slides for you so you have them. But you know, it's leading by example. So when I ask you guys to do stuff, it is, you've got to, this is about showing people who you are and who you're becoming, right? You've got to develop the character and habits of a leader, right? You've got to be willing to increase your level of risk and give up your need to be perfect and look good. You've got to increase your skills and competency. You've got to have a positive attitude and belief, right? You've got to know what values drive you. You've got to develop a message. That's your story. That's what you guys are working on. You've got to create a brand. It's about you. You got to build a belief in yourself. You've got to always be transforming. You've got to learn to respond rather than react, and you've got to take 100% responsibility. And when I say you've got to build a belief in self, is that every next phase that you're going to go through in this journey, you will probably not know how to do it. And your belief is built in the journey of getting there, right? Your leadership is not in where you are. Leadership is a game of transformation. What inspires people is not us standing still, it's our evolution. It's our continuous willingness to become more that inspires people. It's when they meet you, they see your growth. When they hear about you growing. When you're doing different things continuously. And what happens is people are like, this woman is always growing. This guy is always growing. I saw him last year and he was doing this. They're gonna look, you wanna be someone that they look to for leadership when it comes to change and expansion. This is what this game is about. Now, once you boldly are able to lead yourself, and I'll give you some areas, right? The question is, how do you do it? This is my success formula, again, made up by Suzanne, so you won't see it anywhere else. Because this is what I figured out. This is what you've got to master. Network marketing has skills. You got to master them. You can't skip them. So when we talk about the system, you got to master that. Because in the system, there's different skills, and you got to understand your system, and you got to understand the skills that make your system happen. You have got to get good at connecting, inviting, enrolling, and enrolling is painting a picture and registering people. If you are not good at that, you will not have a business. Most people want to bypass that, opt out of it, because it's where most of us are uncomfortable. You've got to build the character of a leader. There's 10 character traits that all leaders have. I will make sure I give you that list, but they're exactly the same for everybody. No matter what profession, whether you're an athlete, an entrepreneur, an elite business person, millionaire, billionaire, the character traits are identical. That is a clue, so you want to master them. You've got to be able to manage your energy. When I say manage your energy, it's about your attitude. If you get knocked over and run down by everything that happens, that's gonna wear on you. This is about your bounce back effect. This is about you to be able to manage your energy in the face of life circumstances. And you've got to become exceptional at creating relationships. This is your ability to listen. This is your ability to empathize. This is your ability to serve, right? This is that part. This is not about getting people. This is about having a service that people need and adding value. And it doesn't always have to be isogenics. The more value you add to people, the more they know, like, and trust you, and you increase the likelihood of them saying yes. This is the wealth formula. This is a success formula. So when I say you got to lead yourself, this is what you've got to master. Then you go into developing leaders, right? And actually, you know what? I'm going to move that. Then you go into leader of others. And leader of others is when you are now leading other people. And this is a beautiful thing. How you lead someone is you be 2 steps ahead of them and you turn around and you teach them what you learned. It's that simple, right? So when you guys are in your high five group and people are watching you, and at the end of it, 2 people say, I want to do it with you, all you're going to do is turn around and teach them what you just did, right? I started this program. I set up a high five group. You can join mine. I invited some people. You just teach them exactly what you did. So the beautiful thing about this thing called network marketing is you don't have to know the whole continuum. All you got to be able to do is master something that you can turn around and teach. It's that simple. Then go master your next phase of your leadership and turn around and teach it to the person who's coming up behind you. Master your next phase and turn around and teach it to the person who's coming behind you. That is all it is. Okay? Now the thing about leader of self, leader of self is when you get to the thing where you're like, I'm great. I'm great at this. That's the language of leader of self. I'm great. When you get to leader of others, you're creating this we are great attitude. Now, remember I talked about left side and right side of the equation? People who stick on the left side of the equation are I'm great people. I know how to do this. I'm gonna do it my way. I'm the master. I'm brilliant. I'm talented. I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. It's only me. Only I can. You know those people? Okay. That's a job. That's go alone. It's 100% of your effort. But you got to go through I'm great first. You got to get to be able to master that left side of the equation. You got to learn how to do it. But then you move from there to we're great. And we're great is when you take your leader of self and you now be the example and you take the time to invest in other people and you teach them what you've learned. Now you have people who are following you, but you don't want them to stay as followers. So now you're going to go develop them as leaders. And again, you're going to teach them how to lead themselves so that you're developing them as leaders. So you're going to teach them how to manage their attitude. You're going to teach them the list of character traits that leaders have. You're going to give them all the things that you have, and you're going to treat them like leaders. That means you're not going to do for them. So notice when Colette said she's going to send me her stuff, I'm like, no, you're not sending it to me because I'm developing Taria as a leader. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to teach Taria what to do for Colette. Right? I'm going to teach Taria how to lead. And I'm also developing her as a leader because she has somebody she must go teach. And then, oops, sorry, am I going too fast? No. So once you finish developing leaders, now this is the utopia. You are becoming a leader of leader. This is when you can let someone go. They don't want to hear from you. They want to do things their own way. They're like, I got this, and I'm going to tweak your system, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But they have proven their leadership capacity. They are off and running. They don't need you, right? So right now in my team, there are leaders that I don't see them. Why? Because they're off doing their own thing, right? So now I'm developing a new group of leaders, which is you guys. But that's the thing, is this is where you want to get to. This is where your duplication lives. This is where your independence lives. This is where your time freedom lives. And this is where you become the mentor, right? So people will call you for like, can you tweak this? Or I just want to run something by you. But they're leaders in their own right. They know what they're doing. They have developed their own and tweaked your system. They may have gone off and developed the system based on what they've learned. They've improved what you've done. But this is where your leverage lives, right? This is where your dream and your vision becomes possible. This is when you have people working without you. So, takeaways, comments, questions. Unmute yourself to chat.
Yeah, Suzanne, earlier in one of the presentations, you did make a note and you hit upon respond versus reacting, but you didn't comment on it, the difference between the two.
So reacting is emotional. How many of you are run by your emotion? Fear, anxiety, stress, looking good, those things get in your way of doing stuff. So I'm tired is an emotion. I feel tired, and I feel tired determines whether you get up and work out or not. I'm afraid is an emotion, and I'm afraid determines whether you take the next step. I'm uncomfortable is an emotion. I'm uncomfortable determines whether you go to the next step. That's a reaction. Your emotions are running you. A response is, I'm afraid. Oh, well, we gonna do this anyway. I'm tired. Well, I'll only be tired until I actually get moving. Let me get up and do my workout. Do you see the difference? So a lot of people, their emotions run their life. Leaders, their mindset runs their life. And it takes a moment to identify what you're feeling and go, got it, thank you for the information, but that's not going to be the determining factor. And it's not denying your feelings, it's understanding them and responding in the presence of them. Cool?
So there's a difference between a feeling and an emotion. So when you feel tired, so when you say I'm tired, tired
is an emotion, it's a feeling, it's an emotion.
So emotion, feeling, they're this because
there's this subtle difference, but it's still, I can feel tired and have the feeling of tired, and everybody knows what it is to feel tired. You know what it feels like in your body. Now, I now get to choose, does tired get to make the decision, or does my mind get to make the decision? Right? I feel afraid. There is fear. We all know what it's like to feel fear, yes? And we all get to decide, does fear get to stop me and make the decision? Or can I feel fear and say, I'm feeling afraid, but I'm gonna act different. I'm gonna still go where I choose to go because it's gonna get me what I want, right? So there's these feelings and emotions that are natural, they come up, but it's, are you going to respond rather than react and let emotions and feelings run your life? Helpful?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. And I'll tell you, that will be responding versus reacting is the name of the leadership game. Right? There will be people in your team that will piss you off.
Yes.
And you're like, don't react, respond, because I'm the leader. This is a teaching moment. Yay. There'll be times where you don't want to do something like, call numbers 850 of repeating the same thing. You're like, oh, I don't want to do this. But the cameras go on and you're like, smile, camera, energy. Right? Don't matter what you're feeling when the camera's off, but when those cameras on, it's time. It's game time. Right? It is about managing yourself in the face of life and how you're feeling to get where you want to go. It is the biggest learn for everybody, but that's a leader. Right? I have people who will call me with all sorts of reasons, which are called excuses, for why they didn't get something done, show up somewhere, why they're late, why this, why that, why the other. And all I know is that they don't have a high level of emotional mastery. They don't have a high level of thought mastery. So their reactions to life circumstances is running their life, and they keep running into this thing called your challenge line. And your challenge line is when you become uncomfortable. And that challenge line pushes you back, and you either get to break through it and get where you want to go, or you get to turn around and make an excuse and a reason to why you turned around. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Breakthrough is growth. discomfort is perfect. That's why I tell people, if I'm afraid, I know I'm right on track. I'm like right where I'm supposed to be. Afraid. Yay. I'm growing. I may not like it, but yay, I'm growing. Now that's just a mindset. Any comments, questions, other takeaways?
So I wanted to share my takeaway. I love what you said about being a leader, and all it is just being a step or two ahead and then turning around and then helping others, you know, behind of you. So sometimes, you know, we have a tendency to think like we need all of this stuff, right? And it keeps you stuck. So it's like I'm thinking about myself and all the times that I tell myself I'm not ready. I need this, I need that. I can't possibly do X, Y, Z, or share this with someone else because, you know, they're gonna look at me and say, well, she don't know what she's talking about, da 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 da. But I just love that, you know. So it's about always teaching to what you know. So you don't have to, you know, go in to pretend that you know things you don't know. It's okay if you don't know it. Just teach what you know and then go along the journey. So that was good.
And say, I haven't gotten there yet, but I'll get someone who's been there. Melvin will tell you. I mean, Melvin's been on this journey forever with me. Girl, when I started training, I had no clue what I was doing. I go read. I go read a book, read the little manual that Ice Jenks had, and I turn around and train my people. I was like, I don't know. Because I was just really one step ahead of everybody. I would just figure it out. I'd make calls. I'd speak to other leaders and go, okay, what do I need to do? How do I get this done? And they'd be like, okay, you got to go do this, this, this. I'd be like, okay. And I get on a call and say, okay, so this is what we're going to do. Girl.
That was good. Thank you for that.
Yeah. No, let me tell you, one step away, right? One step away. But the thing was, I was so engaged all the time before anybody ever showed up that when people really started showing up, I came across like I really knew what I was doing because I was practicing. Like I was like I tell people, I led as if I had a massive team when I had nobody. Right? I'd be like, Susan would say, who wants to train? I'd be like, I'll train. Who wants to do this? I'll do it. Who wants to do that? I'll do it. I was like Miss Happy Volunteer because I knew that if I practiced, by the time Melvin showed up, I'd be like, I'm good. Not that I'd led anybody in Isogenics before, not in my own team. I was just like, I will practice. I will act as if I have a massive team because when people show up, I want to be good. I want to be so ready. I knew everything before anybody, like all the steps I understood them. I knew them. I practiced them before anybody showed up. Do you guys get this?
Mm-hmm.
I was leading myself. Any other questions or comments?
I wanted to say that I like the clarity between leadership versus management, because as a serial network marketer, you know, and one who's never had a 9-to-5 job, my biggest issue was when I believe in something, I believe in a product, I believe in that it works and things like that, or I believe that a compensation system works. I'm not the person that you have to beg to do, because I just do it. I do it because I believe in it and I enjoy it and it's working for me and all of that. And the thing that I've hated was babysitting. I always picked programs where, you know, recruiting was a secondary thing, that you could still make money and not have to talk to people or talk people into stuff, because I didn't want to babysit people, because it irritated me that, you know, you have never once had to say, Julie, take your Isogenics. Do it because, you know, you told me this is what you're going to do. This is what's going to happen when you do it. This is how long you got to do it. I tested it. It did exactly what you said. And you haven't had any trouble with me since. So, that was 3 years ago. So I never wanted to, you know, like I brought in 30 some people, but it was like, if I didn't stand over them and constantly be, okay, but if you just do the 2 shakes, if you just, you know, and so when they fell away, they just fell away, you know, and who's left? Who's left? Mark. Of everybody of the 30, here he is on the call with us right now, because I didn't have to beg him to do, he just does. And, you know, he's like 110 pounds later, doing great, doing better, you know, on that mark. He always picks on himself, but
That's awesome.
you know, yeah, but we, you know, I mean, it was a combination of things, but Isagenix was definitely a part of that process. And I'm saying publicly, Mark, I'm real proud of you, man, for what you have done and how, but I didn't have to call Mark, beg, cajole, or, you know, chronically motivate. He decided, he tried it, he decided, and he just ran after that all on his own. So I get it now. You're bringing clarity to what I was kind of learning organically.
Awesome.
And didn't have words for.
And this is the thing. One of the beautiful things about doing the high five is you will find your people. Some people will need the high. Like one thing about the high five group, some people just need that accountability. And they will do more because people are watching than they will for themselves. Right? So when you put them in a high five group and you go along with them, they will go on the journey. And if you can get them to the journey and they can see success, and you roll them right into the next round of it and get them in with more people that they know, it's getting them through that phase of, because remember, we're talking habits here. If we focus on products, Isagenix is the bomb.com products. Like it works, like like there's no question. The research says it works. But what you're up against is people's habits and people's bad habits and people's priorities. And so one of the things that the High Five Club group allows you to do is to help people, one, prioritize themselves, prioritize their health, but we're also prioritize the money that they're investing in their health. And if you can walk with them through that, it's really like 90 days. And we haven't talked about IsaBody, get them involved in IsaBody, which is another level of accountability. But if you're able to do those things, then they'll move. But if you think you're gonna just start someone and they're just gonna be like, woo, this is cool. People have bad habits. Isagenix is a piece of the equation. It's not the whole equation. People have bad habits. They have life. They have all these things. They have priorities. They talk themselves out of themselves, putting themselves first all the time. You have bad habits. That's why the group works so well.
So when you initially start your group, your first ask is just watch me and hold me accountable. You're not asking them to drink the shakes with you, to exercise with you. You're not asking them to do any of that. You're just saying, would you mind tracking me with my journey? And if somebody says, well, I want to do it too, okay.
Yay.
But what I'm asking you to do, I'm not asking you to do all that. I'm just asking you to watch and encourage me and give me some rah-rah as I'm doing it. I'll report to you what I did and how I did. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm just reporting to you what I did and how I did it.
Right.
And let them come to you and say, well, wait, hold up. Okay, you just lost what? How many? Okay, now I watched you for a week. Now I want to do it too. Is
right.
That kind of the strategy?
Yeah, because that's word of mouth marketing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Got it.
That's the foundation of word of mouth marketing. Word of mouth marketing is not us convincing people, is it? That's what people do when they get into network marketing. They suddenly think they have to go convince the world, right? We don't have to convince the world. Word of mouth marketing has always been, hey, I just went to the store and got this. You should go check it out. That's what or you're like, girl, where'd you get that? That's word of mouth marketing. How'd you like that book? Oh my gosh, you got to read it. Da, da, da. That is word of mouth marketing. Word of mouth marketing is not picking up the phone and going, you should, da da da. That's not word of mouth marketing. So to teach people word of mouth marketing in the purest sense, have them watch you. Right? It's the best way to teach them. It's also the best way to get people comfortable. talking to people and building up their belief. Because you see, the thing is, it's hard to invite someone to do something with you if you don't have a belief in it yet. You all have my belief. Now, those of you who've had your product experience and you're like, ooh, wow, right? Now you're holding on to your own belief. But until then, you had my belief. So for example, Anila's just getting her box. Chris and Winston, who are texting me, they got their box like a little bit ago. They're suddenly building their belief, right? Chris started with a shake. He wasn't highly believing in me at that point. One shake, until I got him to order. By the time he had his shake and he put his shake in his body, he was like, okay, what else do I need to buy? Right? He had to build his belief. So the high five is a place where you put someone, particularly a new client, you put them in to build their belief, and they do it publicly in front of their friends. That way, they're actually doing real word of mouth marketing. Hey, this really works. Oh my gosh. Now, I know you can pick up the phone, Julie, and you can talk to someone. I want you to practice. Remember, I'm teaching you leadership. I want you to experience what you should do for your customer as they come in, because they're not comfortable picking up the phone. They're like, I'm not even sure I believe in this. I got to test it. So give them an accountability group. They're still going to word of mouth market for you. They just won't know they'll be like, oh, I got an accountability group. You're like, yeah, you got a fishbowl.
Got it.
Any other questions, comments?
I'm as I'm on this journey of leader of self, I am learning that progress trumps perfection.
That's good.
Yeah. Instead of waiting to get everything right, just start and tweak as you go.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest takeaway so far in my journey to leader of self, because I'm seeing a lot of holes, if you will, a lot of missings for myself in my leadership capacity. However, I'm also addressing those. So I believe that progress is better than me trying to be perfect at everything.
Well, there's no such thing as perfect, one.
Right? Yes.
And two is that's why leadership is messy.
Mm-hmm.
To go first means you don't actually know what you're doing. You're going to test something out. So if you're not going to test until you're perfect, you'll be standing still a long time.
Which is what I've done in the past.
And I know, because for a lot of people, the reason I frustrate the crap out of them is I'm like, let's go. And they're like, but we haven't got the, I'm like, let's just go. We'll figure it out as we go. Even with you, I drive you nuts. You're like, okay, but no, let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Cindy, I want to comment, my sister from another mother.
Yes, my friend. I can't wait to see you.
I hear you loud and clear, simply because in making my list of 100 previously, I'd have gotten hung up in the system of what it looks like. It needs to be printed out, where I wrote it down. I need columns for phone numbers, emails. This time I just wrote down the names, and I ran through the 100 like nobody's business. And when Suzanne said this morning, and she bumped it up to 200, I go, oh yeah, I can knock that down tomorrow to complete my list. By the way, Suzanne, I do have my high five group. It got to 19 this morning while you were talking. I really want to circle back to the point Julie was making, so I'm clear about my high five group. Thank you very much for opening that door, Julie. Mm-hmm. The question is that when we talk to our high five group, we're just asking them, number one is, can we put them in a text group? And number two is, we want to report to them every week on a certain day, and we just need their support and their attaboys. And if they don't receive that text, will they hit us up with some kind of contact to say, hey, where's my
Yes, they will.
done this week?
That's what happened to me. 3 people said, where the hell? What are you doing?
Right.
Oh.
Okay, I want to be clear.
Uh-huh. And I would suggest post not just once a week, maybe twice a week. Post.
Random. Yeah.
And get a conversation going. And I love Cindy put her dream dress in her post. I would recommend you put a before in your post. I know.
I will. I realized that when you were talking, I go, people don't know my journey because they don't know what I start with.
Yeah, so
I
your
realized
before and what your goals are, put that in there.
Yeah.
And now people have a context. And so this is what I want you to do. I want you to model what you want your next customer to do.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Right. And you'll learn, as you're going, you'll learn, ooh, I should put in a before. Oh, I should do this. Ooh, I should do that. Right. Colette will be posting what she's eating. And you know, the big joke will be, I put too much greens in my avocado toast. Like, just have fun with it, but bring them on the journey with you. And so this is the thing. So if you get 2 people out of your high 5, they'll actually already know what to do. They've been on the journey with you. You're training them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, do I start my group? Yes. Or you can add them to your group. But yes, you do. Oh, I have to put in this. Yeah. They'll know what to do. They've seen you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Suzanne, do you want to be in all of our groups or not?
I'd love to be in all your groups. If I've personally enrolled you, I will love to be in all your groups.
Okay.
I'll be like the big cheer.
Okay.
Hey, Suzanne.
You had mentioned that there's a script of what you say in the middle. Is that in our Trello board?
Yeah, it's in the Trello board. Yeah, and we will add everybody to Trello today because Tria put in her video. So good.
So is this the social media Trello or is the yes? Okay.
Because this is a form of social media. Your messenger feed is a form of social media.
Got it.
Go ahead. Mark, you were jumping out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did have one question. So when you started acquiring your groups, your accountability groups, did you find that you spent a lot of time with dealing with certain people just one-on-one before you brought them into the quote unquote group? And then as they felt more comfortable on a one-on-one, then you could get those people together and put them in a group form? Or, you know, how was your experience with that as far as getting people, your accountability partners?
So this is the thing, because the accountability process, when we started doing this, because the accountability process required them to do nothing but watch me, they instantly felt comfortable. Okay. But this is the thing, when they decided to do it, and I asked them to create their accountability process, they already had my journey as evidence.
Okay.
So they were like, oh yeah, I can do that. And you can give them the opportunity to bring their people to your group and continue the process, or they can start their own. But the thing is, this is the beautiful thing about leadership. When we go first, we often answer most people's fears, because most people are, let me watch and see. Let me watch and see if she gets embarrassed. Let me watch and see if she fails. Let me watch and see. We answer all their watches and sees that are in their head. So when you be the example and they watch it, they're like, oh, well, that's not too bad. I can do that too. And then you're just going to teach them to do what you just did. And the beautiful thing is they've seen you.
Right. Okay.
Right. And that's why it's such a gentle start.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Suzanne, so what I'm understanding is that this first 10 is basically you're filling your funnel with people that you're not asking to do anything, and through it will fall people who want to do something.
Right.
Whether it's be a customer, whether it's be in business, whether it's just being your cheerleader, it's a win-win-win because you'll get cheerleaders, customers, or business partners. You just fill in the funnel with people that you're asking to do nothing while they're watching you do something.
Right. So and in my world, this is how this works. So you've got your high 5 customer focus circle over here. And now over here, you're picking up the phone and you're talking to people who you want to do business with, and you're having a direct business conversation. So you've got 2 processes happening at one time. Because we all know the people, right? And Anthony, just focus on the one. That's why we got your high 5 going first. Just focus on the one. Get one thing going. But ultimately, that's what you're going to have. You're going to have people who are in their high five groups, and you're going to have your phone calls with people who you want to do business. And then you're going to go do another high five group, and then you're going to do your phone calls. Now, this is the thing. If you understand the power of this one thing, the reason I have never bought a lead is the process I'm teaching you. Because if every person you put in a high five group can give you 10 names, do you guys see the power?
Mm-hmm.
And what if you get 2 people out of every 10? And then you take those 2 people and you create more high five groups, and they give you 10 names. And then you get 2 people out of that group, and those 2 people give you 10 names. Do you guys see?
Mm-hmm.
Now, because before Messenger, we used to do this called home parties. Take someone, get their results, have them have a home party. They'd bring over their friends. We'd have 15 people. We'd get 2. Those 2 people would get 2 more home parties. We're not doing that. We're doing Messenger. You guys got it off easy. You don't have to run around anywhere. Right? But do you guys see the power? That is why I've never bought leads. I remember doing Fazia's accountability group. Fazia's people brought her gifts. Just saying. When she finished her high five group and we did a high five celebration at her house, her people showed up with gifts. They were so excited for her. I think you dropped 30 pounds, Faz?
A little over.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, a little over.
Little over 30 pounds. They were so inspired by who she was. And Fazia posts what she was eating. She posts what her meals were. She posts all the stuff. And what was beautiful about what she did was she blew away the myth that she wasn't eating. She blew away the myth that she was only drinking shakes. She blew away the myth that this wasn't fun, because people were amazed at what she was eating. They're like, you're eating all this food and losing weight? Like, what's going on? She did her group so well that people were like so inspired. Right? It's just being the example and building your story. This is what I'm eating. This is what I'm this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Helpful?
Mm-hmm.
Any last questions? You guys are a great group.
We'll let you go, Sue.
I know.
I have one last question.
I'm just going to give up and just let you guys roll. So
I just have one last question. You made a reference, back office for training. No, not back office for training too. Scratch that question. Jump over to get good at, and you started listing 4 or 5 things. And you had said prospecting, inviting, enrolling.
And registration.
Registration?
Yeah, registration is actually signing someone up. So this is the distinction. Most people think that enrolling someone is signing them up. Enrolling someone is your ability to paint a picture based on everything you learned about them. So when I'm out connecting, hi, how are you? And I'm creating, what's up, blah, blah, blah. Then I affirm them, I compliment, and I create common ground. Then I go into the inquiry, and we'll go through this, and we ask questions. After the inquiry, there's this process called enrollment. And enrollment is you take everything that you've learned about them, and you put it back to them in such a way that a picture is painted. And before you register someone, before you offer the sale, is you wait for them to pick up the paintbrush and finish your story. It's a technique, right? So I will, like when I'm talking to, let's say I'm talking to Colette, and I'm like, so Colette, what you're telling me is that you have been challenged with this for X amount of time, and you really would like to get this taken care of. She'd go, yeah, absolutely. No. I go, well, this is what I can see for you, and this is what I've helped a number of people do, is using our program. You have the opportunity to have a tool that I know will help you get that weight off, but also help you address a bunch of other issues that you're dealing with. And for the people who have done it, they have kept it off, and they've just shifted their life. How will that feel for you, Colette? And Colette will be, oh my goodness, if that was to happen, she'd go blah, 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 blah. See how she's painting now? blah, 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 blah. Whose life will that affect? Now, notice those are all the questions on that form that you guys have. Who in your life will it affect? Oh my goodness, you know, I haven't been able to do this with my kids, and I haven't been able to do that with my kids. And you know what? If this really works, I'd really like my kids to do this as well, and I'd be sharing some stuff with them. How would your life be if this doesn't work, or you don't do this? If you choose not to do this? Oh my gosh, it would be, you know, I'm at my wit's end. It's going to be so why don't we commit to really just taking this journey together? I'm totally here to support you and really giving you the lifestyle you want. How's that sound? Oh my goodness, you know, no. What do you see for yourself? Well, when this happens, da 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 da. Now they're ready for me to offer the sale. Do you guys see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
What most people go is, oh, inquiry. Well, let me tell you, from what you told me, you need Isagenix. How many of you have done that?
Mm-hmm.
I have the perfect program for you. You need Isagenix. And they're like, why? You have not enrolled them. Enrollment is the painting of the picture to which they are excited to step into, which we will teach. It is the sale. And it is the sale with ease. Cool?
Yes.
All right. You guys good?
We're good.
All right, this call, I will download it, put it on in Trello. Those of you who have your Trello board, it'll show up in the section where you're making your high five group, because that's what we talked about. And we're talking about leverage, so I'll title it, but it'll show up in your high five because that's what we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
And so you guys can go to your Trello board, go to the main card, and you'll see a sheet there, and I'll just add the training right there for you.
Quick question. Miss the Fazia's training on Trello. Is that something that may be repeated? Or is there a recording or something that I could that was done that I could watch and catch up?
There is a recording, but Fazia will do it. Are you doing another one this Wednesday?
I am.
So what I would suggest you do is listen to the recording, and I'll do a call with you and Mark and help you get your Trello board set up.
Okay.
But if you listen to the recording, which I'll just pop to you right after this call, and then get on Fazia's call, because I think, you know, twice, to hear it twice,
Yeah.
you can ask her great questions. But yeah, totally.
Okay, great.
Yeah, send that to me also, please.
Okay. I'll send the recording to everyone. How's that?
Sure.
Perfect.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
I'm good.
You're good?
No, this was good.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And you know, one of the things almost everyone here has another business, right? One of the beautiful things about everything you're going to learn here, you'll be able to take it to your other business and rock it. It's like, it's so duplicatable. Like, I mean, it's business, it's sales training, it's business training. You'll be able to use it wherever you're going. So that's the other beauty. All right, everyone, have a fantastic week. I will be available to support, answer questions, get you guys going. High five groups by the end of the week. I'm looking to be added to everyone who I've personally enrolled, and you'll be adding the person who personally enrolled you to yours, and we're going to start the duplication process. So have a blessed week, everyone, and I will be back here 8:30 next week. And please put the link somewhere where you can find it, because soon I'm going to stop sending it to you guys every Monday. I know it's a new habit, that's why I'm doing it, but soon, you know, you guys are leaders and I'm developing you, so you'll be doing this on your own. All right, everyone, take care.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye.
You
Have a
too.
great week.
Bye-bye.